Hi there, my name is Steve Wilbur, and I'm the training manager here at Dowa North America, the Irvine offices. And today is the inaugural broadcast of a series of trainings that we plan to offer, which will cover a variety of product setup suggestions and also some trainings. So today what we're going to do is step you through how to connect up some Dowa IP cameras to one of our NVRs. So today what we have here is the N52B3P, which is our 16-channel EPOE NVR. Now the EPOE technology allows you much greater distances to be able to connect your IP cameras as long as you're using a compatible EPOE camera with our EPOE NVR or switch. Now, of course, these are still backwards compatible with non-EPOE devices, and in some cases, we can utilize third-party devices at extended distances as well. More information about that is available on our website as well as other online resources. So, we're going to show you the process of when you first unbox the NVR and then turn it, plug it into power. So if we can go ahead and then switch to the NVR feed, that would be great. And when you first power it on, you'll see that it goes through a wizard. In this case, it's a device initialization. So the very first thing that will come up is it will force you to change the password. So there's no way that you can operate this product with the default password, and that helps keep your system secure. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and program in a new password. And once you put this in, you'll have to go ahead and repeat it. And then there's also an optional prompt question. So this is just a hint in case if you forget. And in this case, I'm going to make it something super simple. And then we can go on to the next step. Now, there are two ways in which you can log into the device. Besides the regular passcode, you can actually put in an unlock pattern, similar to your cell phone. So in this case, I'm going to put a reverse L. And after we do it once, we have to repeat it a second time, so to make sure to get it right. Now, as part of this wizard, it's highly recommended that you input the admin's email address and optionally the security questions. So if for any reason that the user or the admin forgets what the password is to enter the system, this allows them to be able to go ahead and reset it. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we're just going to skip this. You'd put the email address and perhaps some security questions here. But I'm going to disable these and then go to the next section. Now, as part of the startup wizard, we also have the ability to auto check for any firmware updates. So we'd recommend that you go ahead and do this. And what this will do is the NVR will reach out through the internet connection to the cloud and then check to see if there's a newer firmware than what's currently in there. And if there is, it will prompt you to install it. So it's not going to go out and automatically update your product, but it will identify if there is an update available. So as part of this setup wizard here, you can change some aspects of the NVR, like how it appears on your network, aspects about the time and date. Also, if you want to synchronize the time and date to a network server device here. Now we'll switch to the next screen, which is the TCP/IP settings of the NVR. So if you're putting this onto an existing network and you have to have a specific IP address or DNS settings, this is where you would change it. You can also go to this edit screen here and make these adjustments here. Now the P2P function is something that most users will probably want to use, and in a nutshell, this helps simplify the setup and connection of your smartphone app to be able to log in securely to the NVR. So I'm not going to go through the whole process here. We have a number of different videos and setup instructions on the Dowa Wiki. But in a nutshell, after you have the smartphone app installed, you would just point the camera function at this QR code, and this QR code contains all the the credentials and connection information of the NVR. So once you do all that, then you can easily and securely connect from your smartphone all the way to your NVR. So as part of camera registration, this is where you want to add the IP cameras to your system. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in this local camera into the ePOE port on the back. And in this case, I'm going to install this particular camera here. So we've just got a small fixed dome camera, and I've gone ahead and then just plugged this directly into the PoE block on the back. And one thing to note on these newer ePoE recorders is that generally half of the ports are going to be ePoE enabled, and then the remaining ports are just regular PoE. So once you've connected your device, it will take a few seconds, and it will go ahead and attempt to find the camera on the system. So in this case, one thing we'll note is that all of the Dahua cameras will have a fixed IP address of 192.168.1.108. However, if you connect it up to a Dahua NVR, there's some communications that go back and forth, and it will actually the camera will allow the NVR to assign a new IP address to it. So it's generally going to be in the range of what you see here, which is 10.1.1.65. If you're going to be connecting a lot of local cameras directly to the back, we suggest you connect them up one after the other. There is a chance if you plug them in all at once that there might be an IP conflict, in which case one or more of the cameras will not appear on the screen. So that's one tip as far as simplifying the installation. So here you can see that as part of the plug-and-play aspect of our products, this camera was connected, and then within a minute or less, it's gone ahead and automatically registered. And we can see from this green indicator here that it is live and it's properly registered to the system. And of course, you can see the image here in the upper left-hand side. If you didn't see this green indicator and it was red, then you haven't fulfilled all the requirements of connecting up the camera, in which case you can go to modify and then perhaps change the, you need a different TCP port, maybe the user name or password is wrong, and here you can do all these changes. Now, this covers cameras that connect directly to the back of the NVR through the PoE block. And of course, you may be connecting up this NVR to an existing network, meaning that the IP cameras are connected to a different switch, and then this is part of the whole network. So if you want to be able to search those particular cameras on the system, then you would go up here to device search. So this happens to be hooked up to our internal network here at the Irvine office, and once I hit device search, it will go out and then query and see if there's any available IP cameras to be added. So in this case, I know that I want to add this one camera that's listed as 1.155. So I'm going to click that and then go ahead and do add. And then this will add it to the next available channel. And as you can see, this is labeled red. In some cases, you might have to go in and program the username and password, that sort of thing. But in this case, it's automatically registered to the system. So now that we've registered our cameras, we can go on to the next thing. And here is the schedule. And of course, you're probably familiar with this, but all of our recorders have a 7-day calendar. And by default, all of your cameras are going to automatically be recorded 24/7 at the default rate of those cameras. Now, if those cameras happen to have any sort of motion detection or IVS or video analytics, you can also enable those to be recorded as well. And more details about this are contained in the Dahua wiki. So we're just going to go to the finished, and you can see the wizard is finished. and we've done some basic setup. Now, once we've done this, just note that to get back into the main menu, you would take your mouse and then right-click your mouse, and then you have this context window up here, and then you could go back in and then change the different settings. So anyway, this was once again the inaugural broadcast of Dawah Television, showing a series of training processes. And thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you soon.